tell the truth now. Tell the truth.
Okay.
You don't mind if I call you weird.
Like Paul Simon says, you can call me Al.
Okay, Al. Now, tell me, Al, you really think that polka's popular? I mean, comeback trail for the polka?
Well, maybe not yet, but I really think it's the new wave of the 80s. I think it's going to be coming back in a big way any day now. I've seen it coming for years now, and, you know, disco's come and gone. We've had the British invasion. It's time, I think, for the polka invasion.
Now, you played live polka. I mean, you've been there right with the event.
I've been a polkaholic for most of my life, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, what's
I'm not
it
ashamed
like
to admit it.
Yeah, what's it like to be out there playing live, you know? I mean, polka right there in the flesh.
You never really experience the joy of polka until you're out there meeting the polka fans and touching them and spitting on them and sweating with them. It's a real holistic kind of experience.
And you gotta really work my favorite instrument, the accordion. Man, I hate that instrument.
Oh, Dave.
I always hope the guy playing it catches himself, you know?
How many women playing the accordion?
No, right, yeah, right. Well, you're an old accordionist. I mean, you've
Not that old.
Well, you've been accordion. How many years you've been an accordion?
Since I was 7 or so.
Wow.
There you go.
That's it. Can you play Lady of Spain?
Oh, that's the typical. There's like 3 typical accordion songs. You got Lady of Spain and the Beer Barrel Polka and Inagata da Vida. I mean, everybody plays those. You can just play those songs on the accordion. That's it. You can do anything on the accordion. It's a universal instrument.
It is universal. I'll tell you something. Your new video, you know, is such a. I wanna just play the new video and show the people. Living with a hernia.
Could you do that for me?
Yeah. I'm gonna play. Here it is. Weird Al, living with a hernia. Watch this one. Oh, I'll beat. How do you decide? How do you choose who you're going to parody?
I just get a dart and I throw it at Billboard magazine, whatever page it lands on, and that's what I do.
And that's the one you do?
Actually, I pick somebody who's obviously very popular, somebody gets played on the radio quite a bit. Maybe you're just getting a little bit tired of hearing the song for the 2 billionth time.
Well, do you have to get permission to do a parody?
Yeah, everything's legal. It's all a lot of red tape, and nobody's feelings get hurt. And I don't know if James Brown is ready yet, though, because he didn't write the song, so I don't know.
Oh, you could do it. But when did you ever get turned down, make a request to do a parody, and some artist turn you down?
It's very infrequent. There's every once in a while, like, well, there's a short guy from Minneapolis who wears purple and rides a motorcycle and makes bad movies, but I can't mention any names. David, before I go any further, I just want to say, you know, I've been a big fan of yours, but now that I'm on your show, I think it's time I officially made you a close personal friend of Al.
Wow. Be it known that the bearer of this lousy, stinking document is a close personal friend of Al, who and is no longer a pathetic, miserable, weasel-faced hunk of slime. Wow. Al, I want to tell you something. I am touched. I want to give you something. It's rare, but I want to give it to you. I don't even like parting with this, but
disease?
No, it isn't. I want to give you this album.
Wow!
Isn't that great? This is the Weird Al album, and I'm going to give this to you.
Oh, I think I don't have one yet. Thanks.
Yeah.
What a great Christmas present, huh?
From me to you. Remember one time when we met in California, we were doing the Dr. Demento.
Right, yeah.
He's great, Dr. Demento show. I suggested to you then, I said, you know, I always thought of a parody. I can't sing, and that's 50 Ways to Kill Your Lover. Right, hit her in the back, Jack, smash her in the head, Fred.
Yeah, I'm sure that wouldn't offend anybody, David.
Yeah, that would be, you won't get much mail from that. You know, you have to, how do you create these parodies, man? How do you sit down, like you get an idea, like you did with a James Brown, but how do you actually go through the process of creation?
The creative process is a very tricky thing to describe. I mean, it's, you know, usually I sit in a bathtub and fill it with boysenberry yogurt until I start to feel funny, and then funny ideas just come out of me. It's just an amazing thing. I just can't describe it.
You know, you got a real kind of bizarre look on life. When you say, you kind of look at things a little askew. When you say...
Yeah, I'd say that.
I mean, if you were to, let's say you were to do a parody of nightlife, you ever think maybe you...
I think it would be redundant, actually. I don't know.
No, I don't, wait. dressed in tuxedos, man. I mean, how could you parody these guys? And Billy Preston.
This is a great band, I gotta tell you.
This is a terrific band. All right, now you got all this going. What's going to be? What's the future? What do you see Weird Al going into besides the, expanding in the polka world and becoming King Polka?
I got a lot of long-range goals. I thought I'd be the all-powerful ruler of the universe for a while. I don't know, maybe some I just did an Amazing Stories. I play a cabbage man from outer space. More typical typecasting, you know how that goes.
Biographical in nature. Right?
Yeah. I'm looking for more cabbage roles now. I'd like to get into that cabbage head, it's a real acting experience for me.
Are you going to do more films? You're working on that?
I'd like to. I wrote a movie script, which might even make it into theaters near you someday. I just passed the movie script around to the theater. It might not make it on the screen, but...
I mean, just everyone would go in, sit down, and be given a script and just read for 2
reading
hours?
back to the American public. There's not enough reading going on now.
When you see, do you ever think of branching out, like going out of rock and doing like old classics? Doing parody of something from, turn of the century, or Beethoven, like a good Beethoven parody.
I never thought of that until just now, but I'll start to work on that right away.
Do you when you work on it, do you work at a piano? Do you work at an accordion? How do you create it?
Either an accordion or I like to compose on a little toy piano, like a little $25 thing. I get it, Toy Pianos R Us or something like that. And I figure if it sounds good on a toy piano, it'll sound good in a 24-track studio.
And that's how you actually create doing that?
Yeah, a lot of it.
If you a tango.
Amazing, huh?
Amazing that you can create like that. Now, suppose you decide no more. Suppose you decide no more parody. Would you go? I mean, no more. No, really. Just do your act. Just do an act.
Do my act?
Do an act.
Do an act like a lounge singer?
Like a real come out there and a real, do a thing. Be there in a little motel somewhere and playing on the lounge. You don't see that as a future?
Well, maybe a few weeks down the line, but I live for the present.
You don't think that you would like to ever do a real serious album?
I think there's enough people in the world that do serious music. I think I like to do something different,
Of all the parodies you've done, which one was the most difficult?
The most difficult?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The one with the most words, I guess, because it takes me like an hour for each word. I budget it out that way.
An hour to think of it or an hour to write it?
Well, it takes about 2 minutes to write. I write very slowly. But, I write a word at a time, so I have to be very consecutive and very methodical in my... It's a weird way to write. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sounds very weird.
Different, yeah.
Well, maybe that's where you got that name,
It could be. I've always wondered where I got
Weird
the name from.
Al.
Al. Where did I get that name? That's
right? Let's say goodnight to Weird Al. Good night, Weird Al.
Good night, Dave.
Good night.